based upon the videos provided about the life and journey of Nelson Mandela and Adolf Hitler in terms of reaching the fullness of their moral development. First, I will contrast and analyze the journey of Nelson Mandela. Mandela is one of the great moral and political leaders of our time, an international hero whose lifelong dedication to the fight against racial oppression in South Africa won him the Nobel Peace Prize and the presidency of his country. Since his triumphant release in 1990 from more than a quarter century of imprisonment, Mandela has been at the center of the most compelling and inspiring political drama in the world. As president of the African National Congress and head of South Africa's anti-apartheid movement, he is revered everywhere as a vital force in the fight for human rights and racial equality. Mandela tells the extraordinary story of his life, an epic of struggle, setback, renewed hope, and ultimate triumph, which has until now been virtually unknown to most of the world. He was raised in the traditional tribal culture of his ancestors, but at an early age learned the modern inescapable reality of what came to be called apartheid, one of the most powerful and effective systems of oppression ever conceived. He tells of his early years as an impoverished student and law clerk in Johannesburg, of his slow political awakening, and of his pivotal role in the rebirth of a stagnant ANC, or African National Congress, and the formation of its youth league in the 1950s. He describes the struggle to reconcile his political activity with his devotion to his family, the anguished breakup of his first marriage, and the painful separation from his children. He brings vividly to life the escalating political warfare in the 50s between the ANC and the government, culminating in his dramatic escapades as an underground leader and the notorious Rivonia trial of 1964. He recounts the surprisingly eventful 27 years in prison and the complex. Finally, he provides the ultimate inside account of the unforgettable event. Since his release that produced at last free multiracial democracy in South Africa to millions of people around the world, Nelson Mandela stands as no other living figure thus, for the triumph of dignity and hope over despair and hatred, of self-discipline and love over persecution and evil. Mandela's autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, ends with these words: "After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I can rest only for a moment, for with freedom come responsibilities." And the last but not the least is the early life of Adolf Hitler. Hitler spent most of his childhood in Linz, the capital of Upper Austria. It remained his favorite city throughout his life, and he expressed his wish to be buried there. Alois Hitler died in 1903 but left an adequate pension and savings to support his wife and children. Although Hitler feared and disliked his father, he was a devoted son to his mother, who died after much suffering in 1907. With a mixed record as a student, Hitler never advanced beyond a secondary education. After leaving school, he visited Vienna, then returned to Linz, where he dreamed of becoming an artist. Later, he used the small allowance he continued to draw to maintain himself in Vienna. He wished to study art, for which he had some faculties, but he twice failed to secure entry to the Academy of Fine Arts. For some years, he lived a lonely and isolated life, earning a precarious livelihood by painting postcards and advertisements and drifting from a municipal hostel to another. Hitler already showed traits that characterized his later life: loneliness and secretiveness of everyday existence, and hatred of cosmopolitanism and of the multinational character of Vienna. He greeted the war with enthusiasm, as a great relief from the frustration and aimlessness of civilian life. He found discipline and comradeship satisfying and was confirmed in his belief in the heroic virtues of war. That's what we all think.